All right, number 6 was a really fun album for me anyway, for a lot of reasons. My number 6 is a tribute album. It's a compilation. Everyone's getting involved. A tribute to the Talking Heads. Stop Making Sense, which got re-released last year. My favorite concert film. I will agree with everyone that says it's the greatest concert film ever made.
Can I make a bit of a confession?
Yeah.
I've never
Still
seen
haven't seen
it.
it. I was good. I knew as I was preparing this, I knew that was coming.
It's terrible.
It's fine. You'll
should,
get there.
I
You'll
love
get
the
there.
Talking Heads.
Yeah. We won't. I'm not gonna.
That's okay.
Yeah. I forgive you.
I need to.
I forgive you. This was a really fun album, mostly because the lead tracks that were leaked out. The first one was Burning Down the House, covered by Paramore.
So good.
One of my son's favorite bands. A really straightforward cover.
Yeah.
Which, for me, I love covers. We talked about that a little bit in the Bluegrass segment.
But they gotta put their own
But
twist, right?
I like a twist. I'm okay with a straight cover if it's done well and it's fun and there's something interesting. And I really felt like the Burning Down the House lead was good. Lorde's Take Me to the River, which was pre-released. I also really enjoyed. Those are two of my son's favorite artists.
Yeah.
So he was really excited. It gave us something to bond over, kind of getting excited for this album. And when it dropped finally, I was so happy. It's just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
it was really good.
Stop Making Sense is already kind of a greatest hits album because it was a live show. Yes, they were on tour supporting I'm blanking right now. I can see the cover, but it's beside the point. Speaking in Tongues. But they played a lot of songs. I mean, it opens with Psycho Killer, this spare version of it. Everybody's Getting Involved opens with Miley Cyrus's cover of Psycho Killer.
You shot that to me at one point.
Psycho Killer, qu'est-ce que c'est?
Which, for me, immediately upon dropping, hearing it, I told everyone I knew. Miley understood the assignment. What was interesting to me was in kind of the Reddit space and Twitter, whatever, the new one, Threads, I think it's called.
Yes.
The conversation I saw was, oh my gosh, she ruined it.
Oh, really?
Good. What's the point if you listen to the album if you want the straight version?
Yeah.
It exists.
Yeah.
You can listen to David Byrne say, I got a tape I want to play, and sing Psycho Killer. Like,
you can't I mean,
that's available. For her to do this Gaga-esque Bad Romance thing to it was so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, for me, that is what covers should be. They can also be really straight. They can also just be a good, I'm going to do this in my style. But to do something really new and interesting will always win points for me. The Linda Linda's Found a Job was a high watermark on that album for me. And Gene Dawson's Swamp.
There's no rocks and the whole thing is over. All the beauty's in solid motion. All the beauty's gonna swallow you up.
But overall, just really great. And it got me listening to a lot of other artists that I wasn't very familiar with. But because of what they did to a song that I could recite in my sleep, I wanted to hear more from them. And so I think for me, that's what cover albums should do. That's what compilations and tributes are for. And more times than not, they don't land. I think it was 2 years ago, I'll Be Your Mirror, a tribute to Velvet Underground and Nico, came out. And while it had some really good tracks on it, and I adore that album, and I loved the artists that they put on it, I didn't grab me the same way that this one did.
Gotcha.
Yeah, everyone's getting involved. If you haven't listened to it, go find it. Especially if you don't know Talking Heads that well, you're aware of. I mean, I don't know if you've been under a rock for ever.
It's okay.
Maybe
Those
you
rocks
haven't.
are everywhere.
Yeah, they are. That's fine. I'm not no judgment. But if you're not that familiar with them, maybe it's a good place to
Yeah.
see what
for sure.
hits. But
Especially, I would guess if you're like a 15-year-old kid who might know
Sure.
Paramore, but just
right,
haven't really delved into the.
yeah, it got my son paying attention to music that I liked. It's not just a one-way street.
It makes me think of that like covers record. I think it was a covers record. Did you ever like in high school, No Quarter, that Led Zeppelin kind of tribute thing? And there were lots of like little grunge bands that are on there. And I kind of knew Led Zeppelin, of course. Who doesn't know of Led Zeppelin? But that like gave me an entry point to the catalog that I probably wouldn't have taken otherwise. Being just a small town, no MTV guy, so
my Beatles introduction was a Pearl Jam cover of "I've Got a Feeling."
I've got a feeling,
which hit so hard when I
Japanese
heard
import.
it. Yeah, that I was like, "Who is what? Oh, it's Lennon McCartney. Like what?
That's
This
awesome.
is a Beatles song."
That's
and then
cool.
I got, well, now I need to listen to that. Like what?
Well,
What
Heads,
else is
man,
there?
there
And
you go.
I mean, Talking Heads kind of are this generation. I think the current young people, I think they hold the same or similar place to the Beatles. Obviously not an influence or whatever, but to me they are that great. And they're still around. Like they're still doing things. Producing records.
Yeah.
And putting stuff out and
Broadway
but
shows.
a great compilation tribute album
Great.
this year.
Great choice. My number 6 is MJ Lenderman's Manning Fireworks.
It gets dark. We all got work to do. She's
Yeah, we actually have not talked about this record, so I wasn't sure like if it was going to be on your radar at all. But MJ Lenderman, like I became aware of him a couple of years ago when he released a record called Boat Songs. I think that was his. Well, I could be wrong. To me, it was the first record that I heard of him. It starts with a song called Hangover Song, which is actually about Michael Jordan playing the flu game here in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a terrific little song. And like MJ Lenderman as a lyricist is like really kind of intriguing. He's not like your intellectual bookwormy, I'm going to give references to Homer, blah, blah. He's not that guy. He's talking about John Daly, singing karaoke at a club or whatever. Like he's very simple, but in that simplicity, he's delivering something that is just a little nugget of like, oh, that's a cool take. So MJ Lenderman is a really cool record. He was all over Waxahachie's Tiger's Blood as well, which we'll talk about later. But this was a really, really cool record. And if you're interested, also like country adjacent a little bit, not country per se, but like there's...
No. And we talked, genre is one of those things we talked about, like being in a genreless time, like do what makes you happy, do what sounds good. If it comes from the heart, awesome. And I think saying like, oh, it's a country album or it's Americana or it's like,
whatever.
I don't care.
Let go of all that.
Yeah.
Just bring your ears. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, that's fine too. But this is a great record. She's Leaving You. Terrific song. You Don't Know the Shape I'm In. Terrific song. This was one of my most listened to records this year.
It's a Sunday at the water park.